Back in 2022, 2 months to the general election, a friend of mine whispered to me, stating very categorically that regardless of the outcome of the 2022 general election, the people of the mountain were going to be nowhere near power. How I wish that I will repeat this statement. Regardless of the outcome of the 2022 general election, the people of the mountain were going to be nowhere near power. By then, never did it make sense to me, but today it has. Listen, my fellow Kenyan. Whether the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga was to win the 2022 general election, to whom was going to be deputized by Honorable Martha Karua, nor President William Samoei Ruto, who won, to whom was likely to be deputized by the Murima Crusader, the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Either of them, and in this context, the two presidential candidates, either of them was going to have the central Kenya very far from power. And of course, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga lost, while President William Samoei Ruto won the election. And according to the hierarchy of power, the Kikuyus seem next, or the Kikuyus are just a heartbeat away from power. But realistically, they are very much far. My Kikuyu brothers and sisters are the only tribesmen to whom were capable of fielding 2 deputies from their own region in one general election. And of course, from where I sit, that was a tactical blunder by the people of the mountain fielding 2 deputies that technically sold the tribal narrative against them. However, I wouldn't want to blame them per se, but it technically put a dent to their nationalistic value. And of course, all the presidential candidates thought that by them having a Kikuyu deputy, that would automatically enable them get millions of votes from the Mount Kenya region. But little did they know that that was going to come up with very many detriments to the region. And so, long story short, had the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga won the election, then automatically the Kikuyus would have been very far from power, and having President William Samoei Ruto winning the last general election, in fact, he has pushed them very far from power. But contrary to all this, President William Samoei Ruto is still working hard to prove to Kenyans that he is a one-term president. Look at it in this context. When President William Samoei Ruto sends some GSU officers to police mark our daughters in Butere girls, that shows how wicked he is. Because I've repeated these times above numbers that President William Samoei Ruto had all the avenues to stop the play at the sub-county and county levels, but he let the kids do their best, only for him wanting to stop them just a meter away from the Nationals, of which, from where I sit, he stands out unfair and uncouth for his illegal decisions. And however, with this at hand, let me beg to ask this question, or let me pose this compliment. Had President William Samoei Ruto not won the 2022 general election, then millions of Kenyans would have spent their lives in entirety thinking and believing that President William Samoei Ruto had been the engine behind Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's success. But now that he won the 2022 general election, I kid you not, with him occupying the highest office of the land, he has times above numbers ever since he assumed office been proving to Kenyans who he really is and how competent and incompetent he is. How I wish that Kenyans, having known President William Samoei Ruto's style of governance, they fully enjoyed the latitude of electing a competent person in office come 2027. Failure to that, I kid you not, if they revote or if they re-elect incompetence back to office, then that shall automatically mean that they will have voted for bad governance for the next 5 years. And if you vote in bad governance, then automatically bad policies are likely to replicate. How I wish that Kenyans should just make a decisive and a conscious decision as they face the ballot come 2027. And as I come to the penultimate part of this episode, that has just been my opinion. If by any chance you do have a contrary opinion to mine, you can as well. Just feel free to drop them in the comment section and I'll give them a right of reply. And by any chance, if you've been watching my videos and you have not subscribed, you can as well. Just consider hitting on the subscribe button. Thank you and may God bless you.